What is up, my seafood friends, and welcome to r/ProRevenge. I'm your host, Dr. Fish Sticks. And first of all, if you don't know what ProRevenge is, it's a subreddit where people are annoying or bad to someone, and then they get back in the most hilarious and over-the-top way possible. So we're about to do that. Also, I'm hopefully going to be getting a different external mic soon, so eventually you'll be able to hear the different change in audio quality. But other than that, let's go. Okay, so we're starting off with this one titled, "Don't Shoot Near My Horse. Your family will hate you when we tell them." That sounds good. I'm sorry if this is in the wrong place, but the revenge did happen, just not immediately. It's not huge revenge, but it was pretty satisfying. Well, that's good. I've been riding for close to 20 years and love every moment of it. I was taught by a close friend and still ride with her to this day. Backstory. I was over at her place and tacked up two of her horses. One was named Tiger and the other D. I was on Tiger at first, but she was misbehaving, so T switched with me and I hopped onto D. We were going through the back hills and came across a hold 1 through 3. That's where things began. T and I came up over a hill and we could see a small group of guys that were shooting at targets. We stopped and waited for them to motion us past, which is polite with horses, and they didn't stop. Tiger is really laid back while D is a good girl. She's just young, so she gets nervous, but she's a sweet little thing. She's a pony technically, but still a good girl. What are female/good girls? T whistled to them, and they looked over, and we motioned that we wanted to go by. They flipped us off and ignored us after that. Now T has gotten feistier with age, so she looked at me, and I'm visibly boiling, so we decided to wait and show them that we weren't backing down. I was left with T, and after a few minutes we were considering walking behind them since we have permission to walk through the landowner's property, now called LO. We were about to move when I looked up and one of the guys had shifted his stance and shot off a couple rounds. I heard one ricochet off the metal around the targets, and we heard it and then saw it hit the ground a couple of feet away. I stared off for a second and was wheeling D around as the men laughed and T let loose with a few choice words, and we took off. Little Pony can run like heck when needed. Tiger was fat at the time, but she was up D's tail as we fled. We stopped halfway up the next hill, and I could tell T was livid. I was trying to calm D as Tiger panted, and I was raging once we all calmed. T was on her phone and jumped off. She gave me Tiger's reins while she walked the half-quarter mile back to take photos of a-holes 1 through 3. She stomped back and went a different direction to go around them and finish our ride. We got back to her house and she asked if I was okay with tacking out Tiger while she made a few calls. I told her I'm fine and she walked off. I could hear shouting from her house all the way to the barn, but I didn't say anything since it was better that I didn't call about it. She came over about after a half hour or so. She called LO and he was furious. His nephew was watching the property and he asked if he could go shooting on his little DIY shooting range. 5-minute crafts shooting range. LO told him to always yield to the horse riders in the area since he didn't want us hurt. T went to talk to him to show him the photos of a-holes 1 through 3 and confirmed a-hole 1 was the one with the rifle. LO had cut his vacation short to come back and get it sorted out. I didn't see what happened, but according to T, the nephew got his butt kicked by LO, and his family shunned him for about 6 months due to the danger he put us in and our horses in. If one of the horses had been hit, we would have ended up on the ground at the least. What would have happened at the most? He was banned from LO's property for the rest of his life. A-hole's family brought us apology gifts of wine and a few gift cards to the local tack shop. We went to get a new halter for my horse since he broke it again, and the gift card had $200 on it. Jeez, that's a lot. Sorry for the length, but T and I were chatting, and we were talking about all the stupid things people do around horses, and it came up. Thanks for reading. Enjoy your weekend. Okay, that's actually really good timing because this is the weekend. Also, I'm gonna do like little talking bits after these, so forgive me if they're annoying. But I thought that was a good one to start out with. Again, satisfying that someone who tried to shoot your horse got shunned by their entire family and you got like money and gift cards out of it. That's a really good like pro-revenge. Actually, I feel like that would have been better on petty revenge, because most on pro-revenge are like well thought out and intricate. This was just like an on the fly, hey, let's get the landowner and your family to shun you and kick you off the property. Yeah. So all in all, I feel like that would have been a better petty revenge story than pro-revenge, but yeah, okay, it was still satisfying. Okay, so this one's about medium in length. It's titled, Don't Pay Me for Half a Year? Okay, enjoy being $20,000 in debt and being out of a job. Way to spoil the ending. Okay, so I had this really nice lady as a boss in a sales job. I'm in a different job now. Oh wow, really? Would have never thought of that. She was the sweetest soul ever and would always get us coffee when we got to work. She had a heart of pure gold. That wasn't enough for the Leachville Corporation, the business I used to work at was. They were the most scummy people on earth. Just imagine Mr. Krabs' money obsession on steroids. Half of my workforce got fired due to budget cuts. Thankfully not me, because I was a pretty hard worker. Yeah. But I got a new boss, and oh boy was he a nightmare. He made us get to work an hour earlier so we could get ahead of our schedule. He also made us stay behind late for the same reason. I barely ever got any free time to myself because I was rotting in a tomb that my boss called an office. To be honest, he made me want to quit and also made me wonder, what the heck am I doing here? I could be outside, but instead I'm sat in front of a monitor thinking of sales, which my life become. He made me hate my life. Then they got really scummy. They got rid of another half of our workforce again because of their budget cuts. They fired my best friend, who I made a pact with to always have the same job as her. She got a job as a cashier because nobody was hiring. I couldn't leave my job and I felt trapped. But I can tell you what was really scummy. Because there was only 25% of our workforce left, they were making me do 2 different jobs and an extra 3 hours because they couldn't afford to keep their precious workers in the industry. My boss started to treat me like pure crap, the cherry on top, and make a sexist joke, and even spanked me once when I dropped my purse. Oh god. This sounds like crap. This sounds like real freaking crap. It was so misogynistic and really rude that I just couldn't take it anymore. I went into a mental breakdown at home and cried myself to sleep for a week. The freaking boss also had the nerve to not pay me for 6 months. Come up with excuses like, we have a few setbacks, we'll give it to you next month. And, oh, sorry, we're all tied up at the moment. I had rent to pay, god dang it. I got paid roughly $3,300 a month, but after that, I had to rely on my parents to help me pay rent, buy my food, get transport through trains, etc. This isn't directed towards the boss, but towards the entire goddamn company. I'm not naming any names, but they are the worst corporation ever. How much more of it's an MLM? So, I was slaving away at my job again. And my boss told me they were firing me because I was lacking schedule completion or whatever. I was mad. I almost killed the guy. It was so overwhelming and infuriating. Screw these guys. Now, for the revenge. I had no idea why I didn't do this before, but I had gotten in contact with a lawyer. He understood it all and was in my favor, and he agreed to take on the case. We gathered every sample of evidence on how I was unpaid for the past 6 months and had to live off my parents. It was horrible. I felt so bad, like I was stealing from them. We were certain they were going to win the court case. We had every bit of evidence to get the money back. Court trial day. I was not suing my crappy boss, but the CEO of the company for around $20,000. The CEO tried to bribe the judge with $500. It didn't work. Jeez, $500. The judge apparently passed it off as, sure dude, I'll definitely be in your favor. My lawyer is friends with the judge, surprisingly enough, and the judge told him after the trial case. Okay, so the judge starts talking, yada yada yada, and he asks the CEO to give evidence that they have paid me. They had none. They didn't even think about forging documents. The judge was displeased and went on to me and my lawyer. The judge told me to show evidence, and I did. I whipped out 10-ish pages of documents with unpaid bills and also said that the company has a reputation for killing its workforce. The judge had all the evidence and he needed it, and it went in my favor. This went over with the local news and I got paid $20,000 in return. Thanks so much, CEO. Really appreciate it. I bought a used car and paid off the next few months of my rent. All thanks to the CEO. The CEO's company died and went out of business because clients heard about my court case and they were disgusted that a company would do that. The company went out of business because nobody would buy from them and they had a bad reputation in general. I, however, got my PhD in English and I'm now an author for a book series. I can't say which because I'm not allowed to advertise in the chat. TLDR, the company I used to work at killed 75% of its workforce and didn't pay me for 6 months. I got $20,000 out of it and got the company shut down. Okay, so remember what at the beginning when I said, oh no, this is going to be a big scale? No, I said that about the other one. But I knew this was going to be a big scale. Didn't say it, but I knew it would. Yeah, it was a big scale. Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know how big the company was. I don't know. Maybe it was probably a big company. It was probably a big company. By the way, getting a company shut down. I mean, yeah, I understand. But that's just... I don't even think they meant to shut it down. They just wanted compensation. Yeah, they probably wanted compensation for a lot of those things, like crying yourself to sleep. Yeah, that's something I would probably want compensation for. I don't think anybody should have to cry themselves to sleep because of a job. And if so, that job is awful. Jeez. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, press the like button. If you didn't like it, press the dislike button. I really don't care. And if you really liked it and want to see more of my content, click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. But other than that, this is Dr. Fishsticks signing off. Also, I'm going to have a new mic soon, don't worry, bye!